write books that incorporate white lives into them substantially.
I have done.
In a substantial way.
You can't understand how powerfully racist that question is, can you? Because you could never ask a white author, when are you going to write about black people? Whether he did or not, or she did or not. Even the inquiry comes from a position of being in the center.
And being used to being in the center.
And being used to being in the center. And saying, you know, is it ever possible that you will enter the mainstream? It's inconceivable that where I already am is the mainstream.
They looked at just 12 southern states between 1877 to 1950. Turns out there were 3,959 victims of what they call racial terror lynchings.
My name is Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer. It was the 31st of August in 1962 that 18 of us traveled 26 miles to the county courthouse in Indianola to try to register to become first-class citizens.
I don't know what most white people in this country feel, but I can only conclude what they feel from the state of their institutions. I don't know if white Christians hate Negroes or not, but I know that we have a Christian church which is white and a Christian church which is black. I know, as Malcolm X once put it, that the most segregated hour in American life is high noon on Sunday. That says a great deal for me about a Christian nation. It means that I can't afford to trust most white Christians and certainly cannot trust the Christian church. I don't know whether the labor unions and their bosses really hate me. That doesn't matter, but I know I'm not in their unions. I don't know if the real estate lobby is anything against black people, but I know the real estate lobbies keep me in the ghetto. I don't know if the Board of Education hates black people, but I know the textbooks they give my children to read and the schools that we have to go to. Now, this is the evidence. You want me to make an act of faith, risking myself, my wife, my woman, my sister, my children, on some idealism which you assure me exists in America, which I have never seen.
They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators.
Slavery was justified morally, biologically, theoretically, scientifically, everything else. And it seems to me that white America must see
All right, so I wasn't on. Hey, how you doing? This is Ty.
Isabel.
Isabel. We got Malcolm, twin. But we're going to be going live on the debate. While the debate is on, you'll see us, but you won't be able to hear us because if they hear the background, they're turning live off. But we're going to just be talking about it and tell me how you feel. First off, I just want to say I love the fact that there's no audience there. And it seems like they can significantly talk more about the issues. Seem like,
But there is no distraction, so.
No distractions, no crowds, no cheering, and it's only two people. And I think that, in addition, is great as well. Is that you don't have people cheering and then people stopping. So I think it's good right now. It seems like a lot of good things has been going on, but it's going on right now. So we're gonna mute us. I just want to know, is that pandering, saying I'll vote the first black woman? I just think he's so disingenuous. It bothers me. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, he's trying to actually probably gain a little bit extra votes right here. So,
What?
I would
Talking
say
to the
that.
mic.
Yeah, I'm saying he's probably trying to just gain extra votes. So to just say that right now, I think is not actually not the right way to say that he wants to bring diversity in the government. But
Yeah, that's it.
Woman, period.
I hate it. You guys don't know we're watching the debates, and we're live right now, and I'm on mute so they won't cut this off. People just jumping on, we're gonna be live, but you can't hear us because if we show this voice, they're gonna if they hear CNN, then they're gonna cut us off. But we're gonna be coming back in.
You must take back the streets. And you take back the streets by more cops, more prisons. I hope this crime bill, when it passes, the Biden-Hatch crime bill, as it becomes law, God willing, I hope that we will have ended, once and for all, this notion that somehow Democrats are weak on crime. The consensus is A, we must take back the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I don't want to ask what made them do this. They must be taken off the street. We all agree on that. Now we can find some fringe folks and left-wingers in my party who say, no, that's not what we should do. Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without any conscience developing, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets. They are beyond the pale, many of those people. Beyond the pale. I don't care why someone is a malefactor in society. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society, try to help them, try to change their behavior, but they are in jail.
Mr. Speaker, I rise in strong opposition to this so-called crime prevention bill. Mr. Speaker, let us be honest, this is not a crime prevention bill. This is a punishment bill, a retribution bill, a vengeance bill. All over the industrialized world now, countries are saying, let us put an end to state murder, let us stop capital punishment, but here what we're talking about is more and more capital punishment. What we're discussing now is an issue where some of our friends are saying we're not getting tough enough on the criminals. But my friends, we have the highest percentage of people in America in jail per capita of any industrialized nation on earth. We've beaten South Africa. We've beaten the Soviet Union. What do we have to do? Put half the country behind bars? Mr. Speaker, instead of talking about punishment and vengeance, let us have the courage to talk about the real issue. How do we get to the root causes of crime? How do we stop crime? And Mr. Speaker, I've got a problem. I've got a problem with a president and a Congress which allows 5 million children to go hungry, 2 million people to sleep out on the streets, cities to become breeding grounds for drugs and violence. And they say, we're getting tough on crime. If you want to get tough on crime, let's deal with the causes of crime. Let's demand that every man, woman, and child in this country have a decent opportunity and a decent standard of living. Let's not keep putting poor people into jail and disproportionately punishing blacks.
Time of the gentleman has expired.
You must
On day one, the ice.
You know what? Bernie Sanders should just be president because everything Biden is, he don't stand for anymore is everything that Bernie Sanders has been saying. So,
And this is new as
why
of
are
today.
we even debating? Exactly.
Great Migration.
There's nothing that you can say in reference to Biden that he's done to address any black issues, period, in his history, period.
Bobby Rush, member of Congress, said the other day, I'm ashamed that I voted for the '94 crime bill. You ashamed of that bill?
Not at all. In fact, I drafted the bill.
Ooh.
You said you were arrested when you were with Mandela. I don't think so.
Joe Biden has recently been telling voters that he was once arrested trying to see Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela walked out of prison and entered into discussions about apartheid. I had the great honor of meeting him. I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador on the streets of Soweto trying to get to see him on Robbins Island.
I came back from South Africa trying to see Nelson Mandela and getting arrested.
You say that you were trained to be a protester and suffered. We don't think so.
Like many of you, I participated in sit-ins to desegregate the restaurants and movie houses.
When I was a teenager in Delaware, for real, I got involved in the civil rights movement.
And the New York Times reports, quote, more than once, advisors had gently reminded Mr. Biden of the problem with this formulation. He had not actually marched during the civil rights movement.
When I marched in the civil rights movement, I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes.
But he never actually marched in the civil rights movement at all.
Will pay any price, bear any burden, accept any challenge, and meet any hardship to secure the blessings of prosperity. We shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty.
I did not know that was a Robert Kennedy quote.
The thing about Joe Biden, though, when he gaffes, because we all know he does, you never believe he's lying.
Goddamn pickaninny. You like that last video? Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, where the progressives have a voice. And remember, share this, like it, subscribe to the channel so we can grow. The Section Independent. That part. Go ahead, pause it. So, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking Biden is just saying a lot of things tonight that we haven't really heard.
I think
some ideas.
Biden is saying a lot of things tonight that Bernie has said already.
Yeah,
we haven't heard him say.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
So I just find that interesting as far as, college. Now he's really agreeing to give free college for...
You can scoot up so.
Yeah. Oops.
It's okay.
For families who make less than $125,000.
Yeah.
I've never really heard him saying that before.
Yeah. I think this round, I'm going rounds like by commercials, but this round to me, it seemed like Bernie was hitting. There was a few things Bernie was doing some doing that Floyd Mayweather where he catch you like that when he ducking. But it's a few things that he pointed out that I want. Let me turn this thing off because I can. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I got it.
You got it?
Yeah. So a couple of notes that I wrote down. He was talking about climate change. I think that's just YouTube. Let me mute YouTube right quick. Yeah. It's a couple of things that he brought up. Immigration. You know what? I was upset at Bernie initially when he was when he did that speech. I mean the campaign ad and tried to kind of seem like Bernie, like him and Obama was kikiing and they was good friends. I didn't appreciate that. I thought that was pandering. I'm like, why are you doing that, bro? That bothered me so much. And I was like, yeah, it's understandable that what you're trying to say is no, like you like Obama, your Obama was good. Say that how you been saying it, use it in a debate. And I think he did today where he said, look, me and Obama voted for the same thing as far as immigration and stuff like that. And when they both were in the Senate. And I'm like, oh, that's a great way to show how you guys were on the same accord versus trying to do exactly what Bloomberg did. You know what I mean? So I thought that was a great way. Climate change, I thought that it was very rich that Biden was talking about his plan in the climate change. And we all know how Biden liked to plagiarize, and he plagiarizes his plan to combat climate change. I'm gonna just go to this. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Biden plagiarized here. Joe Biden climate plan plagiarism scandal explained. So Biden, what they found out is Biden. Well, I'll read it. So Joe Biden's climate plan, released on the morning of June 4th, contains a number of passages that seem to have been copied and pasted at times with very superficial claims from various advocacy organizations, policy shops, and in one instance, a Vox article. Interesting. And mind you, this is Vox that's doing this. Let me just go a little larger so you guys can see it, because I know sometimes you probably can't see it. So, bam. So, these plagiarism allegations were first flagged by Josh Nelson, the vice president of Credo Mobile and the veteran of several environmental organizations. He appeared to believe that Biden's ideas should be more progressive. Peter Hassan of the conservative Daily Caller added a few more examples to Nelson's findings. This is Nelson's tweet. Josh Nelson. The paragraph in Joe Biden's climate plan about carbon capture and hold on, let me make sure that okay. Biden's sequestration includes language that is remarkable, similar to items published previously by the Blue-Green Alliance and the Carbon Capture Coalition. So, the Pincer movement illustrates some of the perils of positioning yourself as a moderate choice in the primary campaign against the incumbent president. Everything Biden does is bound to attract scrutiny from two rival ideology camps, leaving him fighting a two-front battle. You know what? That's true. But if he didn't plagiarize and didn't lie, we wouldn't have this issue. You paused it. We don't want to pause it.
You did.
I didn't pause nothing.
You actually did.
I didn't pause nothing.
Oh yeah. Okay. Here we go again.
We ain't gonna be on time.
You touch it.
I didn't pause anything.
Okay.
Anyway, so on one fundamental level, however, it is clear what the allegations really amount to. Journalistic and artists are supposed to be original. Lifting the work of others is a form of theft by borrowing ideas and policy concepts from specialist advocates and interest groups and then synchronizing them into policies workable packages is what presidential candidates are supposed to be doing. Interesting. So with that being said, if you guys don't know Biden's past, there has been some other notable lies and things like that. We're gonna just get to a couple of lies of our nominee Joe Biden. And you guys tell me what you think. I ain't making this up. I'm just let you tell me what you think.
You said you were arrested when you were with Mandela. I don't think so.
Joe Biden has recently been telling voters that he was once arrested trying to see Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela walked out of prison and entered into discussions about apartheid. I had the great honor of meeting him. I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador on the streets of Soweto trying to get to see him on Robbins Island. I came back from South Africa trying to see Nelson Mandela and getting arrested.
You say that you were trained to be a protester and suffered. We don't think so.
Like many of you, I participated in sit-ins to desegregate the restaurants and movie houses.
When I was a teenager in Delaware, for real, I got involved in the civil rights movement.
And the New York Times reports, quote, more than once, advisors had gently reminded Mr. Biden of the problem with this formulation. He had not actually marched during the civil rights movement.
When I marched in the civil rights movement, I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes.
But he never actually marched in the civil rights movement at all.
Will pay any price, bear any burden, accept any challenge, and meet any hardship to secure the blessings of prosperity. We shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and the success of liberty.
I did not know that was a Robert Kennedy quote.
He did not know, so please don't blame him. He didn't know. But yeah. So that's who Joe Biden is. He because he has no plan. This is why this is why he lost twice already. Once had to drop out. And the only reason that he's vice president is he was vice president is because Obama's campaign was a little nervous about winning the Midwest, the Rust Belt, and those Southern votes that they felt that can be won having someone like Joe Biden on this team. Period. Remember, Joe Biden didn't think highly of Obama at all because he was black and clean. So this is who he is, and he talked about it. And I'm glad that, Bernie didn't mention it that he lied.
No, he
I thought he was going to mention it, but
I don't think he's here tonight to kind of just...
He should be here tonight. That's his problem. I think that's why he's losing, because he's not challenging him. But he did challenge him on when he lied about...
for the super PACs. For the super PACs? When he
Super
told him
PACs?
just give them, and he was like...
Yeah, he lied about super PACs, and he lied about, getting rid of SSI, Social Security. He asked them 5 times. He's like, you're lying, Joe. Hold on. I'm going to ask you again. Are you saying, Joe? So I appreciated that he challenged him. That was real good. I thought, don't let him just sit there and lie to the American people.
And
so here we
Biden
go
can't
again.
finish.
It's about to come on. Here you go. Do this. Damn. Hey, what's up? So, how do you feel so far? What do you think?
Well, there is few things I'm not too happy about what Biden is saying, definitely.
Yeah.
I think we know why he's getting...
Your mic is right there.
Yeah. I think we know why, he's getting, African-American votes more than actually Sanders.
Why do you
We've
think?
we've talked about it a few times.
Why do you think?
I mean, he was the vice president of, Obama, and I think that just gave him,
Yeah.
a big edge compared to Sanders. And Sanders wants to, bring some new ideas that are kind of similar to what is in my country, which definitely I'm really for. And
So tell me about that based on like right now. That's why I wanted her to talk about, because she's originally from France. How long you been in America? 20?
Yeah, 20 years.
20 years, but she's originally from France, and you even now go back and forth to France for Medicare.
Yeah.
Tell them about the medical
Yeah.
system in France.
Clearly, it actually cost me less money sometimes to fly by to my country, pay for the airline tickets, get the treatment there, whatever I need to do.
Give us a specific example.
For example, just recently I had to go for 2 days for work, and something I needed to be doing here on my legs would have cost about $2,000. I actually literally called the doctor and I was like, hey, can I come tomorrow morning? I'm flying in. She was like, yes, sure, you can come. It's a lady that I've seen only once before. And she was like, no problem, I'll find a way to just, get you in France, in Paris. I literally just went into her office. She waited for me. She did about 20 shots, and it costed me completely just, 100 euros, which is about $10. It would have cost me 2,000 here.
So it cost you 100 euros. And how much was your plane ticket?
Well, it was actually work this time, but I've done it in
How
the
much
past where, the ticket would have been $300, $400
For
round trip.
round trip, $300
Yeah,
to France?
$350. Recently, I just had some tickets for $350
No, I'm
round
talking
trip.
about normally. Like it's right now, it's a coronavirus.
No, even last year we didn't have Corona, so last year I actually paid some tickets for my parents to come. It was $350 for the tickets.
So
round trip.
$350. Think about that. This is Medicare for all. This is someone that lives in France that deals with the system that guarantees Medicare for all their citizens. A flight, a round trip ticket, and seeing a doctor was cheaper for her
than with my
than
insurance.
it was coming here.
With my insurance, because I have an insurance here that I pay $450 a month, and it was still costing me less money to fly to my country and actually get the stuff done. And this is just, I have a lot of examples like this. My son, when he was little, would have a throat infection. The same medicine from the same drug company. With my insurance, I would have to pay like $30 or $35 out of pocket.
Your insurance here.
Here in the US, I would go to my country and it would cost $2.
$2, and that's in addition to paying the $400 that they were taking out of your check every month, right?
Exactly. So there is just things that where people, whenever I hear actually people in the government here in the US talking about, oh, you know what, you will not get an appointment because the socialist system with the Medicare and so on does not work. I'm not saying there is not lines sometimes. The only thing that is extremely different is that you can call 15 doctors. So if one cannot take you, you can call another one. You don't have to go through your insurance really and be like, hey, do you take my insurance? No, you call the next one, and you will always find a doctor that will pretty much be available to take you. Again, I'm in Paris.
What are the wait times? Tell me about that, because a lot of people have like issues. Some people that talk about they've heard that like wait times are just extremely like too much, and sometimes people waiting 4 months, 5 months. What's your experience? I'm not saying that your experience is every experience.
Well, because I'm in Paris.
But you're from there. You have friends there.
Yeah.
What's your experience?
Because I'm in Paris, obviously we have a lot of doctors, so it's easier to just take an appointment and so on compared to other areas where they don't have as much when it's the countryside and so on. But my experience, whenever, and especially because I've been here 20 years in the U.S., the money I've spent in medical care is completely ridiculous. Giving birth cost me tons of money here. I went back for my daughter in France. They were actually giving me money to give birth.
What do you mean?
Well, in France, when you actually give birth...
Okay, the debates are back on, y'all. Like I said, we're going to stay paused so they won't cancel this stream, and then we're going to come back and talking about the debate.
Let's return to where we began, the coronavirus.
There it is, right there. The Democratic debate. This is the mic check. Okay, let me turn this up so they can hear us. Mic check, mic check, mic check.
It's good.
Mic check, mic check. Yeah, I'm turning it up because it was peaking earlier, so I'm just turning it up so they can hear us.
Okay.
Mic check, mic check. How do you feel about it?
So should I just go back to what we were saying with the medical care?
How did you feel about the debate?
The debate, well, I'm not too happy that just to see actually Biden just really embracing a lot of the thing that Sanders has been saying. It looks like he's changing a little bit on his shoulder and just being like, let me just take a couple of things so then he can probably get more votes. So that actually bothers me a little bit. I'm a Bernie's fan because he does some things that I feel will be really beneficial, especially me being from France. Some of the things as far as medical care, school, university is kind of similar to what we have, and that does not discriminate against people that have money or not. So obviously to a certain level, but the thing is that I'm really a Bernie's fan. So I'm not too happy to see what, he's trying to go a different way. And I'm not sure this will be implemented if he becomes president, to be honest. I don't know. Nah.
Why not?
No, because I just don't think he's really genuine, to be honest. I think he's getting a lot of votes also because, Obama was he's president. He was the vice president. And I don't know. I just don't think he's really genuine. I mean, you've shown a couple of things where, he's been lying, taking ideas from everyone, and he just showed it again tonight. So, not my candidate. And definitely we'll talk about the medical care because I'm really passionate about it, and I want to make sure that you guys can know more with my experience, that it's not what usually people say in the government.
Yeah.
It's just really important because Sanders definitely, when you have the perspective from somebody from another country who has lived off, for life in both countries, I've really experienced both, and I can tell you that the French system, and European in general.
Since we met, you always mentioned that your system was way better than our system, and you was talking about, because you were telling me about how you had the issue with your legs, and then how your son had the accident, and how
I would have been bankrupt.
You would have been bankrupt here, right?
In the U.S. So here's what happened: we moved back in 2015 to France with my children just for a year, and a month before flying back, my son got seriously injured by a taxi in the street. He had to spend 3 months in the hospital, 6 months in a wheelchair, 18 months physical therapy pretty much every day. So this in the US, even with an insurance, we tried to actually check how much it would have cost. It would have been probably about $2 million or something like that. I would have been bankrupt. There was just no way I could have even just keep up. In France, this has cost me probably out of my pocket $200 for almost 2 years of treatment, 3 months in the hospital, full time with schooling inside the hospital, and 2 surgery, wheelchair provided, crutches, everything, like 2 pair of crutches, one to leave it at school, one to have at home, and maybe $200 out of my pocket. Here's the thing: when I first moved back to France, I didn't have the French system because I've lived so long in the US. It took me about 2 or 3 months. You have to do a lot of paperwork to go back in the system, but they have to put you back in the system, so you will be covered if something happens. And my children never lived in France. And you know what? He was fully covered, and I was actually in the best hospital in Paris for children.
Yeah.
And he received really an amazing care.
OG Nick, I think you're right. Joe Biden lied a whole lot, and I appreciated Bernie bringing up. Let me just turn this down a little bit. Bernie bringing up that fact that he lied a lot. He lied when I think one that he kept questioning Biden on was his him talking about lowering Social Security for people. That one he kept pushing them on, like, wait, hold on. You're saying that? I love the fact that he did that. I'm sorry. Continue about the medical care. What happened?
No, finish.
Go ahead. I'm done.
Yes. So definitely compared to what I'm paying here every month, $450 plus $120 for my children, and I'm not fully covered. and I can go back to my country every time. And now I'm not even covered in France anymore, but it still costs me less money, even though I'm no longer covered in France, to take care of whatever I need to do, than actually do it here. And that's what I'm doing. I'd rather pay, my tickets and just go and get done everything in 1 week. Dentist, I had to do something here, $20,000. It cost me $700 in France to do it.
What's $20,000 here?
It was some, 2 implants. And
really?
Yeah, $20,000 I was going to pay.
What?
Went to France.
Well, like a tooth implant?
Yeah.
Really?
One doctor that just broke my teeth, and he was like, "I'm sorry."
Wait, hold on. He broke your teeth?
Yeah.
And
they had to remove it, and I was like, "Oh my!" And they were like,
well,
"Yeah."
Did you have a root canal? That they found out it was a root canal? Or something?
I don't remember exactly how they whatever, but they broke it. They had to remove it, and I was like, "Wow, I'm not gonna be without it."
Yeah, hey, OG, he was lying about his super PACs. He lied a lot. Like, I don't have any super PACs, and but see, OG. That's what they bank on. Like, the majority of these candidates, and especially Biden, he's banking on people coming into the fold right now, coming into politics, especially now that people are all at home and are forced to stay home. They're watching. You probably have more people watching the debates than we've had up until this point. For one, because we're down to two candidates, but for two is that no one has anything else to do. He lied about his super PAC. He straight lied about that. All of a sudden, he's ashamed of him. Why is he lying? He lied about a whole lot of things tonight.
And he just had the conversation a few times. Like, he would not even respond, just giving back the microphone to to Sanders.
But go ahead.
So definitely a lot of people, whenever they hear the American government talking about, the system in Italy or in Spain or, in France, they're saying that, the line are long and everything. This is not fully true. I'm not saying it. In Paris, you can definitely find a doctor really easily. You just keep calling another one, and you don't have that insurance that will say no to your exam. When my son had to do physical therapy, it was about maybe 100 sessions. They kept on giving it. I never had to go through the insurance being like, hey, can he get more? When I was in the US and I was hurt, they gave me 20 and I needed 150. We tried every way to get more and I couldn't.
Yeah.
They were like, no. And they were like, well, you're about to be handicapped. And they were like, we don't care. We just couldn't get, and we never got any extra sessions. So there is really an issue when it comes to that. I know right now with the coronavirus, in France, it's going to be bad everywhere, because right now we just passed stage 3 last night. There is election on Tuesday in France. So after Tuesday night, they're kind of shutting down the country. They're stopping all the store. I think banking, pharmacy, and just groceries can be open. The rest needs to be closed. There will be issue at the hospital because we don't have also the capacity to receive everyone. But the issue people are not going to have is that they won't have to pay for anything.
Yeah.
Where they're here, we don't know what's going to happen.
Well, see, I think that's what Biden is trying to say, oh, you won't have to pay for anything. All of a sudden, we're good. This is what I brought up the other day. All of a sudden, now we want socialism. Because not paying for testing, not paying for treatment, that's socialism.
But the law
all of a
is not
sudden,
there.
he wants that, but he don't want Medicare for all.
But the law is not there, so I'm sure we will be getting
Of
bills
course,
no matter what.
He's saying that to pander to people's fears right now.
Yeah.
He know what they want. Why can't they just suck it up and pay and go to their people? You got 89% of people in the United States that are either uninsured or underinsured that will have to pay an enormous amount of money outside of testing. Testing just lets you know that you got it. Yeah. What if you have it? What if you're 80 years old and you have it? Then what? You got 87 million people, and we're like at 300 and something million in the U.S. So that's almost a third. That's like 20% of this country are either uninsured or underinsured. That's going to have to figure out if they have the coronavirus, and if they're 80, because retirement, you don't get nothing. You got people that's 80 years old working at Walmart being greeters, having to shake everybody's hand, and before everyone knew it was a big thing and how he was just living life, was shaking everyone's hand and saying, how you doing? And those people that are, how they gonna deal with that? Yeah. Lying Biden, #lying Biden. And that's right, OG. You're right. He lied on a whole lot of things.
Biden was trying to say, see, the system doesn't work in Italy. The issue is not really the system. Right here, it's not. It's just people won't have to pay. So they don't have that extra worry.
Yeah.
The thing is that we've never had this. So
Exactly.
This is new for everyone.
And that's
so
what the
nobody
guy
knows
brought
what
up
to
earlier.
do.
He said, you know what? This system is going to exhaust every system, no matter if it's Medicare for all, no matter what country. That's why Italy's going through what it's going through, because it's overwhelming the system. No country is prepared for a pandemic like this.
Yeah.
So you can use that argument, but it's not honest. It's not honest at all. No. You know what I mean?
And at least the people in France or whatever, they won't have to worry when they get the test and the treatment to have a lot of money have to pay. Here, I mean, to be honest, I'm worried because I work in the tourism industry. I might not have my job next week because my only job is to bring people from Europe to visit the US. So right now, obviously, I cannot do my job. If I don't have insurance, I have 2 kids. I'm like, wow, how much is this going to cost me? It cost me already a lot of money with my insurance.
Yeah.
If my insurance is cut off, what's going to happen? I would not have that extra worry if I was back in Europe.
Exactly. You wouldn't have to worry about if something happened to my kids because I know they're solid because we can cover everyone.
Yeah.
And that's a whole lot of things. And that's what's going to be going on too. That's going to be a part of the, I feel like this was a great debate for Bernie. I think it was real good. I want to see what these people. I want to comment
afterwards.
Give us a second. We're gonna just mute because if we don't mute, they're going to not. They're going to they'll stop the stream if they hear like audio from CNN. They do that every debate. One time when I at Status Quo, we was on 90-day suspension because of that. So we're gonna just mute for a minute. But before we mute, remember, like this page, follow us, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this with your friends so that we can grow that part.
Do not apply to day-to-day operations of schools.
So they're saying that the CDC just came out with what it means in a large group. Remember how they said we shouldn't congregate or we shouldn't be in large groups? So the CDC just now came out and said it shouldn't be more than a large group is consisted of 50 people or more, and that is not taking into consideration schools and things like that. But groups, clubs shouldn't be 50 people or more. I just wanted to give y'all that update while we watch. I was trying to give y'all that update while we watch their commentary because I want to speak on what they got to say. So it just said, if you guys don't know, 65 people have died as of right now, and over 3,500 cases. And this is us, mind you, this is us not having the test. Mind you, we've only tested 11,000 people. This is us not having testing. And I think you're going to have more people dying, a large amount of people, and it's going to probably mirror what's going on in Italy, because if people don't know that they have it, they can't go to the doctor to get treated before. You know what I'm saying? And if the system is overwhelmed,
they will do a natural selection.
Exactly. That's what they're doing in Italy. That's what they're doing in Italy. And they have to make that decision like, who can get help and who cannot. Tell them about what happened to your friend.
Yeah, so yesterday I have one of my longtime friend. He's French, but he lives in Italy. He's married with an Italian lady. They have 2 kids, and he sent me a video yesterday, and he was like, Isabel, this is what's really happening. So the country has been completely closed down. He sent me videos inside the store. They have to be 1 meter from each other, so a couple of feet from each other.
Yeah, I saw that video. It was like they were about I would say 12 feet from each other. They were a pretty good distance.
They're not
in the grocery line. In the grocery line, he sent the picture, and they were about 12 feet from each other, each person.
And one person leave the store, one person can get
hold on, just contrast that to us being on the train yesterday, which we're assholes for being on the train, but we had to get some stuff done, and I had to go shopping so that we could be in. But people were sitting neck to neck. I was like, they're acting like ain't nothing going on. I stood up, and I just said, I ain't touched the pole or nothing. And then when we went inside the store, everything was gone. But you contrast that to where we are. Like the store, they ain't have no regulations. They had no soap. They had no disinfectant to do your hands.
Like barely people had mask on. We saw maybe just 1 or 2 people. The mask on, you know.
Oh yeah,
like we just
but the mask. They said you only need to wear the mask if you have it. That's why I was joking. Was like that lady got it.
I know, but
she probably don't know. She was just trying to hide it. You cannot not get it from wearing a mask.
I know, but you go to other country, you're going to see a lot of people.
It doesn't matter. That's just fear. I don't think that matters.
But that's fear. But
you can tell they're actively trying to take precaution. Is that what you're saying?
Okay. And the thing is that here you could see yesterday people touching each other. The subway packed. A couple of subway completely packed. For sure.
Like we gave homeless people some money, and I had to apologize to them. I said, I'm gonna lay this on the ground because the corona. I said I don't mean nothing by it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just laying it on the ground because I don't want that.
Yeah. No. So it's. When you see all of this happening, and my friend in Italy was telling me, so he said, if you think that it's only getting for the older people, no, please, Isabel, just listen really well to what I'm going to tell you. Do not go out. Make sure your kids stay home.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like me, like, oh, let's not to listen to too much. And he was like, no, this time you need to listen, Isabel.
Yeah.
You need to listen. Make sure you don't go outside too much. You're not around too many people. He said that right now because he's about 40 years old and they don't have enough tests in Italy to actually test everyone. So he had fever last night and his wife also. And he was like, we cannot even be checked because we don't even have enough tests. So we just take, some Doliprane, which is kind of some Advil, and just go to bed. And hopefully this is not, the virus. And he was like, please, this is really serious. And it's about to be the same in France. I assume like in a few days, it's going to be like this. It's like in the US, you guys are way more people. And we kind of took that really late. I mean, I'm not, President Trump did not take it really seriously. So I think our country is going to be probably, I'm not saying worse, but we're not going to be in a good shape. That's my take on it. The school in New York just closed today. We only find out today the city was really reluctant to close the school.
Who was it closed by?
Well, Cuomo kind of mentioned that, it should be closed.
By the guy with
that has extraordinary power.
Extraordinary.
We saw that interview from.
I don't know if you guys saw yesterday, but De Blasio, they asked him, so why are you planning to why are you planning to do something? And he was like, because I have extraordinary power. I was like, what?
Yeah, we started to laugh. We're like,
what does that even mean?
Well, can he save us?
This is why people can't give some people power.
But we received some message this morning and they were saying the school are still, we're going to stay open. Charter school, most of them closed. Private school had closed, but public school, nope, they would remain open. And tonight, with the pressure of the parents, Cuomo said, hey, listen, this is like, right now we need to close the school. So we just got the message like at 4 or 5 p.m. tonight.
So both your children's school are closed?
Right now this is closed. Tyrese is only 2 weeks, but Liana, she is not going to school until the 20th of April. And they also mentioned that it may be until the end of the school year.
Oh, wow.
So right now we just don't know. It depends on how the few weeks are going to play.
Yeah.
But It's a little scary. I mean, we're in New York City. There's a lot of people everywhere.
It's a lot of people. And it was noticeable that there wasn't people on the train yesterday when we were on the train.
I mean, even in the street, it was just like not as much as.
Yeah, see, I'm not used to New York yesterday. So it was a lot of people on the street, but I guess in consideration, it wasn't a lot of people. And we went to the store, it was empty. If you guys saw my IG yesterday, it was real empty. But the other store wasn't.
So
I think maybe because Whole Foods is more popular.
Yeah.
Whole Foods was dry. We had to go to the other store. They had everything we needed.
Yeah, they had all the stuff. The line was long. We had to go all over the
I mean, the line was long, but relative to how big the store is, if they had more people, it wouldn't have been long. Yeah.
But I went in the store in my area in the morning, and we had everything. So
I'm sure today they probably.
Yeah.
The more people watch the news, that's what happens. The more people see it, they're like, "Oh, we need to do something," and they'll go and get everything. And then all of a sudden, it's like a trickle down effect where people are like, erratic and are just like, kind of anxious and want to get things that they need. And people are selfish. There wasn't onions. Do you know how many onions are in the store? There was no onions. None. No red onions, no white onions, no yellow onions.
Taya is in Annie's onions. You're so passionate with it.
Man. Hey, y'all remember, hit the like button, share the page. We're trying to grow the channel, so hit that like button. The more people like it, the more people get to see it, the more priority they get. I mean, we do have we're at 117 thanks to Status Quo. I was able to work with go out and cover the primaries, so that was great. We got some subscribers, so you guys share this with your friends, man, so we can grow this channel. We get over 1,000, I can start doing super chats and start raising some money so that I can be out in the field and doing the same work that we was doing with Status Quo and with the Young Turks, this type of stuff that we do. But like I was saying, I want to see what CNN got to say, so we're going to mute again just so I can kind of look at right now Anderson Cooper, and he got a couple people on talking about the debate and how it relates to the coronavirus. But OG, I think you're right. Like Biden was lying, and like I said, he's banking. He's banking on people's ignorance. He's banking on the fact that people are just now starting to get into. You're going to have more people today. You're going to have more people today tuning into the debates because they ain't got nothing to do except, younger people. They out. The majority, if we go outside right now, young people out, they going to the club tonight, ain't nothing cracking. They like, man, yeah, whatever. I'm straight. So.
No, but people are scared right now, so they are probably looking just to see who.
Not younger people. Younger people think so? Different. Nah. Young people think different. That's why earlier today on CNN, it was like, you guys probably not so symptoms, but you can be passing that to like your grandmother. Yeah. So that's why they was trying to preach that, because they know young people like, whatever, we rolling, we going out. It's Saturday. Oh, what's today? Sunday. It's Sunday. We chilling. So, but let's check this out. I think it's amazing how we get our social cues and our alerts from the NBA. Like, nobody gave a fuck about the coronavirus or COVID-19 until they canceled the NBA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which
this was the first.
Which I think I don't think it has to do. I think it has to do more with our president lying versus just our indifference towards it. I think it has to do with we don't believe the president. We don't know the president say one thing and people be like, oh, okay, so we straight. People are lying. Then you got him, his cronies like Dr. Oz and other people saying, oh, you don't need to. You can just kick it and shit like that. So You got people just like, oh, they just trying to, and then all of a sudden you got these conspiracy theories where it's coming from this place and Asian people are trying. It's like stupid, man. You know what I'm saying? And they trying to blame one person as if, you know what I'm saying? Just all the dumb stuff that this president is known for doing.
Oh, he said he wanted to keep his number up.
He wanted to keep his number down.
Down. I mean, he said it clearly after the votes.
Yeah, no, let's keep these Americans on the boat. Keep my numbers down.
So now let's talk about it.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. OG, I think you're right. I think you're right. OG said, right, it's infuriating that these establishment candidates think that voters are idiots. And sadly, I'm not sure that they're wrong. I don't know if idiot is the right word. I think trustworthy. They do have a sense, you know, when you watch like a lot of the voters, they'll come in and tune in to CNN, MSNBC, or Fox, or whoever they quote unquote trust. And they feel like they don't have to pay attention all the way through because I'll get it from my trusted pundit on TV. And that person will guide me to the right decision. I think that in that, I think the anchors, I think the pundits think that they're stupid, that they're not as diligent. I think that they're just haphazard would probably be a better word. OG are they're they don't really understand how biased these people are. You know, CNN, for the people that like CNN, for the people that like MSNBC, for the people that like Fox, are like algorithms. When you go on YouTube, you start searching things on YouTube, on Google, guess what's going to show up as you continue to log into those platforms? Similar things to what you search for. An algorithm will only give you more of the things that you have. So if you like those, you like them because they 90% agree with your politics. They agree with your rationale to life and how this country should approach it for its citizens. So it's not going to be critical towards its own biases. And mind you, I like Biden. So what I'm saying, take with a grain of salt. No, you're not going to get that from them. They're going to give it to you as gospel as this was going on, and it's all fake news. This is the lady that told her she don't have. Oh no, that ain't her. That ain't her. My bad. Hold on. We're gonna go back to this.
Asked you a follow-up question about, well, why 3 weeks ago? But I'm
we won't have too many pauses. You got the old governor of Virginia. I can't even think of his name right now, but he ain't shit. He on CNN right now talking about how he felt on the argument of the coronavirus that Biden, and I felt the same way. I felt Biden seemed stronger when they were talking about the coronavirus and what should happen. I think he laid out some things that should be done, and Bernie kind of went to Medicare for all, which I thought he should have been more on the virus, because I think at this time you have Americans, they're worried about what's going to happen right now.
Yeah, exactly.
They really are worried about what's going to happen right now, and I kind of thought that Biden kind of got that part. That's how I felt.
I think he should have pushed a little more. I mean, I fully agree with the Medicare for all, but people are extremely scared right now with the virus, and we see those things happening.
He should have laid out more. He should have had something laid out. Like Biden had. He did seem. In that moment, he seemed like, damn, he seemed like he's taking this on. Like you know what I'm saying? And I didn't appreciate that. I wish Bernie had more of, this is what we need to do, X, Y, Z. And it kind of seemed to me like Bernie was going to, like, this is why we need Medicare for all. And that's understandable, but I think based on how people are feeling right now, they're anxious, they're unsure, they're insecure, that he should have been more like, this is what we have right now for this issue.
Yeah, I agree. And even we were talking about it a few days ago. I thought we didn't see Bernie that much talking about it online and so on. Yeah. I think he should have really pushed, because that could be the one thing that actually is going to make him win the presidency. This is a huge, huge issue that we're having that has never happened anywhere. And he can actually push the agenda with the Medicare for all by exactly tackling on what's going on right now. So I think
that part. But I feel like Bernie won that debate for real. But that part, and that was like initially, that was at the outset of the debate. And I felt like Biden, to me, had more of a direct, this is how we're going to go about it. And that's what I wanted Bernie to come in with. So,
but he still won.
Yeah, I think he still won a debate overall. I look at who won and who lost. I love Bernie, but if he didn't win, I wouldn't say he won, because I love him. Like I felt like he got this debate, and Biden got caught up in a lot of lies. And it was a lot of times he was laughing, and keying is because he didn't know what to say.
Yeah, and the thing is that I just don't even think in a crisis like this you should be having a little smirk or laughing.
Yeah, no,
because this is really a situation that is just unprecedented. So the couple of times when he laughed, or when Sanders said, okay, so just mention who are my super PACs or whatever, please tell. And, he's like, oh, please just stop, and he would not even keep on going and be like, giving the information. So that kind of bothered me, because if he does that right now,
that's off-putting. You laughing, you just like,
it's wrong for me to
people not
see.
Feeling that. People not feeling that, but we'll see. That's a great point. Damn, I'm not remembering anybody's name.
His name is,
the black guy. What's his name? It starts with a Vic. No, not Vic. It starts. Shoot. The black guy that's always bald-headed guy. He was a part of the First Step Act. Why I can't think of his name right now. I hate that. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me see, OG. I appreciate you sticking in with us, bro. Van Jones, thank you, OG. Van Jones just said right now, he made a great point. He said, you know what? What gives him pause is that Biden doesn't just take ownership of what he did and say, you know what? I learned from that. He just dodges and denies. He damn near acts like Trump. He doesn't come to terms with anything. He doesn't take responsibility for nothing.
And
he just says, "Oh, yeah, he got 50, 11 excuses for everything he does."
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, "You know what? I grew. You're right. That was wrong then, and I've learned from that."
And it would have been a better take just to say
it would have
that
been better for
just
him, and he doesn't.
agree.
And that's exactly what Trump. No, I don't take responsibility. I don't take responsibility.
That's what he
Trump
did.
says it all the time. That's exactly what Biden's doing. And Van Jones just mentioned that. And I think that's a good observation. Is that he doesn't just say, you know what, you're right, like that did happen, and I've grown from that. He has an excuse for it, and that should give everyone pause. And you can't beat Trump at his own game. If people go, who I'm gonna vote, which the bigger lie, they gonna vote for the most impressive liar. If we're voting for liars, I'm voting for the liar that can lie. That's just I'm lying and this is who I am. Versus, oh no, I'm lying, but nope, I ain't doing it. I don't care what you think, and you can't beat Trump at that game.
No, he's the best. I mean, he's just amazing
Period.
at it. Period. Yeah. Want to put it back?
So, OG, I think you're right, bro. Good job, guys. I appreciate you. What's that? OA Delano. That almost sounds like my brother. My brother locked up in Delano. No, he in the county jail right now. They doing this case now. My brother probably be getting out. He been in there 22 years. OG, I think Bernie had a better performance, but it's hard to tell what kind of effect it has. like what can possibly be done to convince you that Sanders is the one to vote for. I think you're absolutely right. Like I said a while ago, bro, I think that this coronavirus has, in addition to manipulate our lives, it's manipulated our votes. But I guess Bernie's on right now. I don't know how that just happened.
in spite of.
They have clips out. I want to show y'all some clips of what they're talking about right now. But we're going to be. By the way, we're watching Bernie's being interviewed by CNN right now. They just mentioned right now, like, should the primaries be canceled? You know what? If the primaries go on, Bernie for sure will win because old people stand in. Young people think that they straight, that they solid. But no, I think it should be canceled until people. Everybody should have the chance to vote. People. I take voting seriously. Like, people literally died for us to vote, and that's for everyone to be able to vote. Even though they were trying to make sure that black people can vote because we were the marginalized group, but it was to make sure that everyone as an American vote. And if you don't have that opportunity, that's un-American. And so if everyone can't get out because they're fearful and they're scared, oh shit, did I just break this?
Oh. I'm not saying anything.
Don't say that.
Exactly.
Then we need to wait. I think everyone should have the opportunity to vote, and so
and
whatever
we're
that
trying to
means.
do social distance. So if you're just telling
So if
people
you
to go, it makes no sense. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like even 2 days ago when Trump did the the press conference, he was touching people, touching the microphone, shaking hands. Only one person did not shake the hand; they checked the elbow or whatever what that is. But you're telling people the other way around, like just keep your distance, don't go out too much,
Yeah.
and then you have the president just doing the opposite. So
Yeah.
I don't think Tuesday there should be the election. To be honest, I don't think.
No,
That's
I don't. No, well, hold on. Oh, no. Yeah,
They
that's
should
what we're
move it.
talking
I
about.
mean, yeah,
Absolutely,
I
you should
think they
move.
should
You should
really
move the
move it.
election. Delano, you know what? If it takes us doing what Rome did, then let's do it, because it ain't. This country ain't been good for black people ever since I've been here, and I know it ain't been good for black people before I got here. So if it takes tearing this down to get this country right, let's tear it down and humble ourselves then. You know what I mean? Maybe it'll then be better for every other generation that comes after us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually agree.
But
with
I don't think it needs to be tore down. You got a lot more people that want to see it different than you do the other way around. And this ain't, it's the powerful going against the people. Bernie ain't the powerful. Bernie is going with the people. He don't got backers behind him. So, I mean, the analogy is the analogy, but I don't think it applies here, because it's not the powerful fighting against the powerful, unless you're just referring to Americans fighting with Americans. If that's the case, you could just say that generally in having a Republican Party and a Democratic Party. You know what I mean? But outside of that, nah, Bernie is for the people, period, point blank.
And he's always been.
OA, and so I don't agree with that, OA Delano. I think what we have to do is have a revolution, because if you don't, you know what, people would have sat back and said, oh, if Martin Luther King wanted to be wanted people to move in moderate steps instead of challenging them, like, nah, y'all move, y'all being too comfortable because you're comfortable. What about my comfort? So bump all that. But anyway, to speak on what Bernie Sanders is talking about right now, he said that, hey, it's very interesting how Biden has adopted a lot of these progressive
Within 48 hours.
Within 48 hours, scoot in some so you can be closer
Okay.
to your nose. You don't got to scoot out. Yes.
Yeah.
Lord.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so 48 hours and he's changing, and the main reason is because he's saying the crisis coming in, so he needs to try.
But I think outside of the crisis, the statistics is there. Like the majority. Hold on, let's see what they say.
Medicare for all. That would not solve the problem at all. We can take
It's a capacity problem. You know what they're talking about right now? Like Biden, Bernie does better. Bernie was just arguing that we need to delay the primaries. We need to have them at a different time so that, because the CDC just said that people shouldn't be in groups. Like, no, that hurts. To me, that hurts Bernie Sanders, because if we're saying right now that Bernie Sanders is reaching 50 and under, or 40 and under, well, I think it's 45 and under, and Biden is reaching 45 and up. 45 and up are more vulnerable to this disease, so they're staying home. Those voters that vote will stay home. I think based on that in itself, it will benefit Bernie if he did it right now, because that means the majority of people that's going to go out and risk that will be young people. So he's saying, no, I'm not worried about that. We need to postpone it because that's the right thing to do, and everyone has the right to be able to vote, and they should have that opportunity. And a coronavirus or any other kind of pandemic shouldn't avert that. And they're trying to say like that's some strategy. That's not a strategy.
No.
That doesn't benefit him at all.
No, and it's an emergency right now. I don't
Come
think
here,
you
twin.
can just.
Go.
No.
Talk.
Yeah, I mean, we have election on Tuesday in France, and actually the French government is keeping them, which I find that actually completely crazy. And I'm seeing with what the people are saying over there, they're like, they're telling us we need to stay home, we cannot go. They just closed everything, but then they want to keep the election on Tuesday. So right now the election are going on. I fully agree that, even though it would benefit to keep them on Tuesday, we should not have it. For a few reasons, because everybody should have the right to vote, whether he wins or not. Yeah. And it's just like, you know what? You can really spread more of the disease. So let's just try to find solution and not keep on doing what we've been doing for the past few weeks.
Exactly.
That was not, addressed by Trump. So no, I mean, Tuesday should definitely be canceled and postponed. Oh, look at you with your kitty.
Yeah,
Hey.
It should definitely be, but it's not a benefit for Bernie, bro. Just upsets me watching what police does to all Black Americans' cousins in America and Native Americans. No, you're right. I think so, but I think I don't know. Say that question again. I don't really understand that statement. It just upsets me. OG Delano, say that again so I can understand what you're saying, so I can properly respond to it. Let's see. Word. I had the same thought about older people staying in. Yeah, exactly. Especially since Bernie supporters are more enthusiastic and passionate anyway. Nothing's going to stop Bernie. Stop a Bernie supporter. That's for sure. Ain't nothing stopping these niggas from getting on the train right now and going to the club and everything. That's why they been on the news all day saying, look, you guys, even if you don't have symptoms, you can harm your granny or your
you can pass it on.
Yeah, you can pass it on to somebody. And so they're trying to because people are, you come here right now, we're in Harlem. These niggas acting, niggas be acting like that. Ain't nothing, I'm good. Unless my mama die, I'm going to the club. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, you came back yesterday and he was like, they don't care in the street right now.
I was like, hey, they chilling. They was like, psh. I was the same way. I was right in the street with them, like, and I gotta get me some food, take my tripod, knowing my tripod could have waited. I went and got me another tripod. But I think Bernie supporters ain't gonna stop. But what I wanted to mention is what he said about about what Yang was saying about like
the point that he was missing.
The point that he was making about the system. The system is exhausted because no one's prepared for a pandemic like this. Period. So the fact is it's disingenuous that Biden would even bring that up. It's not working in France. It's not working in Italy right now. You know what I'm saying?
It's not even the question.
But that's who he is.
Yeah,
you know
I know.
He's a politician, an old school lying politician to get in. Yeah. This is first time. He's never been this close. He's never been up to number 2 to be the president. I'm sure
I know.
Oh, I want to say something. I'm not gonna say it. Yeah, I guarantee he's so eager. Oh, I can taste it, Lord God Jesus. Just like Hillary was, and she lost. Like he will lose. Hold on. Let's see what Yang talking about.
And you will say if you vote, the lines will probably be pretty short. So maybe
hey, this could possibly work. This could possibly work in Bernie Sanders' favor because he's saying he want to go for it. But if you got other states saying no, let's do it, then it's nothing more he can do. Sorry, meant just upsetting watching police maltreating African Americans and Native Americans. No, you're right, exactly. But we got to fight that. We can't sit and we got to fight that. So maybe I misunderstood your comment initially talking about using Rome as an analogy. We got to fight that. And if it means tearing it down, let's tear it down because the system that we have right now doesn't work for everybody. They set up a system that only supposed to work for a certain amount of people. People always say the system broke. No, the system's working fine. They didn't make it for us. And so if that means tear it down to build it back up, that's what we got to do, tear it down to build it back up. Maybe we won't get it, but maybe we can be selfless like our ancestors did and die for the generations that's coming after us. Maybe that's our job. Maybe that's our job is to ride and die for the kids that's coming after us because they deserve more than what we have right now. And that we should stand tall and make sure that they get it. You know what I mean? OG, nothing's going to stop Bernie for sure. Gucci Cakes, what's happening, Ty? When you going to work with Jordan again? Hey, what's up, Gucci? I was just with him. We were in Michigan. We covered the primaries together. We're also we were going to go to Arizona together, but they canceled it obviously. But when they have the next, we were going to be at these debates because they were letting Jordan in the spin room, and we were thinking we was going to have another down in Brazil moment. You know what I'm saying? But that obviously didn't happen. But no, we've been working together. You know, I'm still part of the family. Still got stock in the company. You know, helped start it and everything. So. I helped develop it once it was started. So no, we still solid. I'm just trying to fix this mic. This mic just messed up.
2 weeks.
You know what I'm saying? 2 weeks mic. She got me this mic on my birthday, and you know Amazon. You know how Amazon is. Amazon gonna give you. They're gonna be like, yeah, it worked.
Well,
it worked when you got it, didn't it? That's all I said. It worked. I didn't say how long it was gonna work. Damn. It's okay. I know how to manipulate stuff. I just gotta figure it out. But anyway, we'll do it like this. But yeah, let me see what Van Jones is saying. Van Jones made a great point. He's talking right now.
Yeah, I do think that Joe Biden.
Get to see what they were saying, but anyway, I'm gonna show y'all this clip and we can talk about it. This clip is trying to this broken mic. This clip is from Biden talking about this is Biden and Bernie Sanders. We're talking about where is it? The revolution. I think this is the same clip that they showed earlier. I think we can show it now. I know normally you can show it after some time.
Make the case for why a revolution is not what the country needs or wants.
We have problems we have to solve now. Now, what's a revolution going to do? Disrupt everything in the meantime? Look, the senator talks about his Medicare for all. He still hasn't told you how he's going to ever get it passed. He hasn't told you how, in fact, there's any possibility of that happening. He hadn't told you how much it's going to cost. He hadn't tell you how it's going to apply. It doesn't kick in for 4 years even after it passes. We want a revolution. Let's act now. Pass the Biden health care plan, which takes Obamacare, restores all the cuts made to it, subsidizes it further, provides for lower drug prices, make sure that there's no hidden bills, make sure that we invest, what I want to invest $50 billion in dealing with underlying diseases that are of great consequence, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and cancer. Make sure that we have a Medicare option that's in a public option providing Medicare for us. We can do that now. I can get that passed. I can get that done if I'm President of the United States of America. That will be a fundamental change, and it happens now. I can tell you from experience, being a significant consumer of health care, with my sons, my family, all the things we've gone through. What people want is hope, and they need it now, not 4 years from now. And Bernie still hasn't told us how he's going to pay for it. We're talking about a $30+ trillion plan.
Not quite true.
Senator
All right, look, let's do something that is very rarely done in the Congress. Let's do something that the media doesn't do. Let's talk about the reality of American life. Why is it that over the last 45 years, despite the huge increase in productivity and technology, the average worker today is not making a nickel more in real dollars? Why is it that over the last 30 years, the richest 1% have seen a $21 trillion increase in their wealth, bottom half of America, $900 billion decline in their wealth? Why is it that we are the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care?
Just to pause for a second, I really appreciate the fact that there's no audience. The more I'm seeing it, the more I'm appreciating that there's no audience, that they can talk policy. They were able to give or maybe it has to do with the audience and the fact that it's only two people.
Yeah, I was going to say.
They're able to give like some context. They're able to give a part of their plan. Obviously, Biden don't have a plan. He like to plagiarize from everyone, but that's what they're able to do. You know what I mean? And I appreciate it not being manipulated by somebody screaming and yelling, or clapping because your man said something that could have been a lie. Because I guarantee if we had an audience when Biden was talking about I ain't take super PAC money, however many people they would have started clapping, knowing that was a complete lie. Complete lie. You know what I'm saying?
And just with this disposition, I mean, like I said, just laughing and acting this way, for me, just completely turned me off. Yeah. Especially in time of crisis, even more, I find that extremely disrespectful to just, they have to go at each other. I get that, but you shouldn't be laughing.
You don't laugh. No, because laugh is just indifference. Like, who are you? Who are the people? It makes me feel like, I'm not even worth considering when you laugh. That's what I get.
He did it few times.
Yeah.
So for me, just that, completely I would just shut him off and be like, you get it. You're on TV. You're in front of everyone. Just, stay presidential. You're trying to do like Trump here. And, I don't know. That doesn't work for me at all.
Yeah. No, I feel you. That bothered me too, because what it says is, you're a joke. Like, you're a joke. So what you're saying to to Bernie supporters is that they're a joke. I don't know how that's reaching out. That ain't gonna get no Bernie supporters, period.
No.
You ain't, it ain't much you can do to get me. I'm voting. I ain't voting for you or Trump.
And I can't vote because I'm not American yet, but I would still vote for Bernie.
Yeah, exactly. But man, I think I just wanted to pause that for a second because here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the most wealthy people in this country. What does that take? Oh, shoot. I never even changed it. Damn it. He talked about Like, what do you need to do to, hold on, y'all need to see it. Damn it.
Tax breaks to billionaires when I have to see the $21 trillion increase in their wealth. That over the last 45 years, despite the huge increase in productivity and technology, the average worker today is not making a nickel more in real dollars. Why is it that over the last 30 years, the richest 1% have seen a $21 trillion increase in their wealth, bottom half of America, $900 billion decline in their wealth? Why is it that we are the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people as a human right? Why are we the only major country not to have paid medical and family leave? Why do we give tax breaks to billionaires when 500,000 people are homeless today? And it comes down to something, Jake, we don't talk about. The power structure in America. Who has the power? And I'll tell you who has the power. It's the people who contribute money, the billionaires who contribute money to political campaigns, who control the legislative agenda. Those people have the power. And
those people have the power. And how do you regulate power? Through a revolution. How do you change power? Through a revolution. Period, point blank. And so if you think that the American people don't want a revolution, you know why? It's because you're a part of the power struggle in this country.
But what people are so scared, I mean, this is one thing I don't understand, because it's been years he's saying the same thing. He hasn't changed his message or anything. And yet it seems like people are really scared to just make changes. And to be honest...
Well, it's not really that. I don't think so, because I think it's what they're hearing from pundits. They don't want this change because they know it'll affect their pockets. But the majority of the candidates wouldn't have moved left of center if the majority of this country didn't want Medicare for all, didn't want free college. So
I get
so
that.
Bernie Sanders didn't move. The country moved. It's just that if you continue to hear from the powerful that got a bully platform, got the bully pulpit, that got time to talk and continue to lie and tell you this is what the American people want, then they're going to think, oh, this is what the American, even if I don't, this can't happen because, no. It's called manufactured consent.
Okay, I agree with you. But for example, when we talk about, the medical care, they say, oh, but the taxes are going to be so high. We won't be able to, it's going to be too difficult for us. It's better that we keep, the different insurance we can pick or something. Because in my country, I see what we pay. We do make a little bit less money that we would make in the US, but the benefit behind is just...
Do you live less? Do you have a lesser standard of living? Can you still? Of course not.
No, we don't. I mean, actually, we might be able, in a lot of areas, we actually live better because we don't pay for college.
And even in a tax, you save. The average person spends $12,000 on insurance. The average American spends $12,000 on insurance. You'll only be spending $1,200. You'll be taxed up to $1,200. So you're saving thousands of dollars, people that have to spend yearly.
But you have all those other, government people saying, no, we're not going to go with it. And a lot of people listen. And I can tell you from a different point of view, coming from another country, that this is actually wrong. Those people don't know what they're saying. They're just trying to keep on scaring people because they want to keep the money in their pocket.
Period. Keep the money where?
In their pocket.
Look at the Lord. Ain't he real? Let me see. Gucci Cakes, Ty, when you going? Oh, with Jordan for sure. OG. Damn, I forgot he was supposed to be in the spin room. Yeah, he was supposed to be in the spin room, man. We thought that was because obviously, he going to challenge him more than anybody. Sucks. I know it does suck. Delano, Bernie 2020. Love to see him visit UK and the Queen of England as president. Yeah, right? I know, me too. Let's see. Gucci Cakes. This part made me so angry. I know, right? And it was a whole lot. Like, tomorrow when I go live, I'm going to have some clips for y'all because Joe did a lot of lying. He did a lot of lying on here. And I was glad that he was questioned on that line. I honestly wish that Bernie would have brought up him lying about being arrested with... just lying in general. He's been lying his whole life.
Yeah, but I don't know if tonight was the night because of the crime. I don't think it would have been the right way to come tonight on this and be like, you're lying. Because really, we're in a big crisis. So maybe the next debate could be okay. But tonight, this weekend, just because of everything that happened, I don't think it would have been maybe playing in his favor.
I think you're probably right. You're probably right. I agree on that. I agree on that. So, like the ratio on CNN videos is completely 50-50. Yeah, right. Anyway, we're going to sign out. I'm about to eat. I haven't eaten. I got to do some other work, but I'm going to be back with y'all tomorrow. I appreciate y'all tuning in, checking us out. And we're going to talk more about this debate because I got a lot to say about it. And, like they said, continue to wash your hands. Yeah. Look out. Even if you don't feel sick, you got some parents, you got your granny, your grandfather. Look out for them. Do what you got to do because you don't want to get them sick. Everybody know how much we love our family. So do what you got to do. Stay clean. Wash your hands every time. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. If you do, you gotta ride with it. But if you don't have to go out, don't go out. There's no sanitizer available. We looked everywhere. No. There's no sanitizer available. Just wash your hands all the time. You know what I'm saying? I don't be washing. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make sure I wash my hands every. I ain't gonna say that, but yeah, I now I've been washing my hands because I got twin. His name is Malcolm, but I call him twin because he like attention like I have. Yeah, he so does. I gotta make sure he don't get sick. So yeah. I make sure I wash my hands all the time because twin here, huh? And so y'all make sure y'all do what y'all gotta do. And I'm gonna leave y'all with what video am I gonna leave y'all with? I'm gonna leave y'all with this video, Joe Biden. What that other video I had of Joe Biden at though? Yeah, I'm gonna leave y'all with this one. Here you go. It's okay. I'll leave with this one. I'll leave y'all with this, and then I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all keep it real.
Good night, everyone. The thing about Joe Biden, though, when he gaffes, because we all know he does, you never believe he's lying.
Goddamn pickaninny. You like that last video? Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, where the progressives have a voice. And remember, share this, like it, subscribe to the channel so we can grow.
So we can
the section independent. That part. There's nothing that you can say in reference to Biden that he's done to address any black issues, period. In his history, period.
Bobby Rush, member of Congress, said the other day, I'm ashamed that I voted for the '94 crime bill. You ashamed of that bill?
Not at all. In fact, I drafted the bill.
Ew.
You said you were arrested when you were with Mandela. I don't think so.
Joe Biden has recently been telling voters that he was once arrested trying to see Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela walked out of prison and entered into discussions about apartheid. I had the great honor of meeting him. I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador on the streets of Soweto trying to get to see him on Robben's Island.
I came back from South Africa trying to see Nelson Mandela and getting arrested.
You say that you were trained to be a protester and suffered. We don't think so.
Like many of you, I participated in sit-ins to desegregate the restaurants and movie houses.
When I was a teenager in Delaware, for real, I got involved in the civil rights movement.
And the New York Times reports, quote, more than once, advisors had gently reminded Mr. Biden of the problem with this formulation. He had not actually marched during the civil rights movement.
When I marched in the civil rights movement, I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes.
But he never actually marched in the civil rights movement at all.
Will pay any price, bear any burden, accept any challenge, and meet any hardship to secure the blessings of prosperity. We shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and the success of liberty.
I did not know that was a Robert Kennedy quote.
The thing about Joe Biden, though, when he gaffes, because we all know he does, you never believe he's lying.
Goddamn pickaninny. You like that last video? Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, where the progressives have a voice. And remember, share this, like it, subscribe to the channel so we can grow. The section independent. That part.